Hi again.
Well, I know you. We see too much of each other, I think.
We do.
Got a few guests coming in. It's like being in a cinema, isn't it? It's waiting for them to come in so you can shut the doors. Get them on the show. Good turnout though. Right, we're gonna get a quick introduction to who's in here. There's a lot of people here today, but Laura's the main one. Um, Saw Laura's film yesterday, not all men. Um, very popular with the audience. Kind of rescued the day a little bit. I think it was a very ramshackle day, but thank you for that, Laura. And this one is one that's kind of an anthology, which we'll talk about at the end. Um, it runs about 40 minutes, but it's different chapters, and I believe Laura wrote every single one. So yeah, but we'll discuss that at the end. So it's very much motherhood theme. I don't know if the title gives that away. I'm now going to pop it on, um, mute my mic, and enjoy. Well, there we go. We stop the sharing. That was powerful, Laura. I mean, two for two. Um, you're covering all the women's issues in your film, free, aren't you? Um,
Maybe not all of them. There are a lot.
well, it's not a bad start, is it? I mean,
No.
not all men, and then this about motherhood, from different, not perspectives, but different stories, chapters, again, stuff that not just the men in the room, but generally we take for granted, don't we? And um, I applauded at the beginning because I don't have a favorite. I'm not going to say what my favorite is, but I thought that Lindsay's monologue in one shot was stunning. Performance wise, brilliant. So, hats off to her. But generally, yeah. If anyone has any questions, you know what to do. You just scream out or put it in the chat. I'm going to ask you just a general writing question, Laura, because obviously you wrote all of these. Was the anthology always meant, was it going to be the thing that you would write and was it part of the collaboration? Because I can see a lot of your friends are in this film, a lot of these same collaborators, which is amazing. Um, was the collaboration part of the reason why you chose anthology, or did you just feel that it deserved the separate segments?
Um, so I think the issue and the reason why it is the way it is because um there are so many different aspects to being a mother and different challenges. And being a woman as well with children presents a lot of issues. But I think if after watching this, I hope people take away the fact that actually having children's not the issue. It's the societal pressures and other issues that come along with it that make it impossible. And this was the first thing I'd always sort of dreamed of doing. I originally wanted to do a feature film about that followed one woman um, in her journey to navigate like motherhood and a lot of the issues that were touched on in this. Um, and then I was on set. I did some support and artist work on the set of a TV show. And I met all the women who you see in the MAM anthology. They were all also doing the same thing, and I met them, and I just found them unbelievably inspiring. It was honestly just being on that set entirely changed my life because I hadn't really done anything filmmaking wise before that. And they were just all brilliant and really lovely people. And so I thought, do you know what? I'm gonna write something for these people so they can showcase what they can do. And so I wrote each individual one with a specific person in mind and what I
Oh,
thought
right.
their skill set was and what I thought the story they could bring and I think it worked out really well because they were all issues that are very prevalent and there's a lot of me in some of them. Um like different experiences that I've had do appear a lot throughout the Mum anthology as well. And I'd basically done what I had experienced from screenwriters as well. So I had had spoken to Paul Laverty, who works a lot with Ken Loach, a
Oh yeah,
lot
he's a writer,
about
isn't he? Yeah.
yeah,
Mm,
about his process and what he did.
mm.
Um, and basically just took that on. I went and spoke to people and found out other people's um triumphs and troubles and how they navigate this life with the expectation of being a mother and a woman. And used a lot of the stories I'd heard and interwove obviously a lot of my own stories as well. And I think it worked. You know, I feel like they're genuine stories and I feel like they're quite authentic as well. And I will forever be proud of them. It's the first thing I've ever done, so I can't believe I managed to do like eight
Wow,
films in a year. It was
that's an ambitious first project, Laura.
oh,
I
I know.
mean, you count on a lot of different people there.
Yeah. It was the collaboration once I'd written them and knew who I wanted in them, I had luckily been pointed towards a local film club, Newcastle Film Club, and the level of support that those guys gave me and guidance, and I just got to network and meet some of the best people, most talented people who were just willing to give their time and energy and talent on something that they thought was a good idea. And it was, yeah, it was really humbling, and just I'll forever be grateful for these films. They'll always be sort of my babies, and I'm very proud of them.
I'm glad you mentioned Paul Laverty because obviously Ken Loach, anybody who doesn't know who Ken Loach is, doesn't really know about British cinema. But yeah, there's a lot of this in that. I mean, just particularly Lindsay and Emma at the end. But I mean, June, I mean, most of them. Ken Loach likes his silence, he likes his people grieving, and um, but he also likes them to just vent and say, well, this is how I feel, actually. Society is, yeah. Lovely. Hedy's point, that was a really good movie to watch. Being a woman in modern society is truly an everyday struggle. I want to congratulate the whole team for capturing that. My only remark is it felt a bit too long at times, and I think could have been shorter, more precise without losing its impact. It's
Yeah.
not complaining about the length. Just curiosity. So I suppose yeah,
Yeah,
lengthwise.
so on that note, they're actually meant to be 8 individual short films.
Right.
Um, and they've all and I think I think you're right, it does lose something when it's all put together because they each have their own um end credits and their own song at the end that sort of I think really it was picked very carefully to go with each film. Um but again, it's like some of them are 3 minutes, some of them are eight, and it just it felt like a nice, and it's the reason why we shot the first one in the cafe. We shot that so we could have them all together and for it to make a bit more sense, just to
Like an
show
intro, yeah.
people. But
Mm.
actually, they are individual pieces. So the anthology this is, I guess, not how it's meant to be seen. Um, but also I kind of want to show people all of them, so it's an easier way to do it, and
Yeah,
why we
I
filmed
think
the
you
first
didn't want
one.
to do eight Q&As. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I just yeah.
That would have been you'd have been exhausted. We'd have had to extend the festival. Yeah. But yeah, yeah, I understand what they're saying about the length. Yeah. It is the longest film in the festival, short wise.
Yeah,
But yeah, when you look at it on IMDb, for example, they do come up individually, don't they?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I was just going to ask a quick question about you mentioned you wrote with certain people in mind, and each story does have its own directorial style, but it never for me, people can disagree. It never for me becomes more stylish or t comes away from the subject. So they all have their own unique styles and the use of focuses and things like that. Did you know who would do each or specific to the storyline, or were you just kind of, well, discussion with them and they decide, well, I'd like to take that on?
no, so I hadn't, it's because it was the first sort of project I'd taken on. I hadn't directed before either, so for me it was all a learning curve. So I was like, anyone who's interested. So I met a bunch of directors, and I showed them the scripts, and luckily each one was like, I'm really interested in this one and I want to do this one. So they kind of all knew and they all had their own ideas. Um, and I think the directors worked really closely with their cinematographers, and I certainly did on Emma. And I think. they are quite they have their own little notes. They have their own taste. Like Ali is very different
It is, yeah.
conceptually. It's very colourful. It's very rock star as Ali's meant to be. And then you compare that to something like Lindsay, which is very much like it's pretty, it's beautiful, it's meant to sort of have this lovely, perfect home life feel. But actually, it's not a perfect home life because there's no such
No.
thing. Spoiler alert, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and so I think that every sort of every director brought something new and a little twist on the script, which I absolutely loved. And yeah, it was really fun to watch their process, and I learned a lot from watching them work.
Well, I think obviously we don't have a lot of time, but anybody that's have any questions for Laura or the team, or just you can email me or post it in the chat, and I'll send it on. But yeah, just give my regards to the filmmakers and what they've achieved in the acting. You know, very different stories, but similar message, and I really like that. You know, so not bad for first effort. That's what I will say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us again. Really appreciate it. Please stick around for the rest of the festival. You know, really appreciate it. We have got an event on the Sunday, the last Sunday is like the competition selection of like a prize giving, but we just want all the competition films to be there. And obviously we've not all men, but it'd be nice to sort of have you around for that. So if you are free on Sunday, the 28th. But we'll be in touch and we'll certainly be posting about this and getting our reactions out there like we did last night. So
Lovely. Thank you so
yeah.
much. I really appreciate it. And thanks everybody who came to watch it. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, congratulations, Laura. Really good.
Thank you.